Hey garden friends, it is Thursday, May, I don't know what the date is, 25th, 27th, who knows. It's the weekend before Memorial Day anyway. Memorial Day is Monday. So it's been really hot and I haven't had a good time to come out to the garden. We finally got some rain last night, which was wonderful. And it's down in the low 70s and the sun has gone down. It's about 6 o'clock at night. We've been out for a couple hours working on stuff. So I figured now would be a great time to do a tour and show you what's going on in the garden. Tonight I put down a lot of leaf mulch. You'll see the leaves in some of the places. Some of the beds don't have it yet because the plants are too small. But I did get it down where I could because I didn't want bare soil. So I did that. I did some planting. We'll talk about that. All right. So the Liatris is there. They were all bulbs or corms or whatever they're called that I bought at Walmart, and they all came up. And I was surprised this week when I was shopping at local garden centers to see that they were selling them in gallon-sized pots, just about that same size, for $12.99 each. So my hint to you, if you want to grow Liatris for cut flowers, wait till next spring, buy some bulbs at Walmart, or it even might have been Ocean State Job Lot. I forgot where I got them. I've got two cosmos here. I didn't grow these. These came from a local farm, but they are the first annuals that are in bloom in the garden. The garlic is doing great. It keeps growing and growing, and I think I said it last time, I've never had garlic this tall this early in the season, so I'm really excited about that. This row has a lot of annuals in it. We've got Snapdragons here, some spotty germination and a lot of weeds there, but more dill and cilantro down there. This is a row of sunflowers of varying ages. This spot right here, from here to here, were the first sunflowers that I transplanted outside. I kind of pushed the limit. I think it might have been the end of April when I put those out. It was before our last freeze, but I looked at the 10-day. They were undercover for a while. And then there's more sunflowers down here. These I direct seeded at the same time I transplanted those out. And you can see, well, first of all, you can see that they're all facing that direction because that's west and the sun was setting. And sunflowers will follow the sun. But you can see spotty germination here. So I have decided that I am just going to be transplanting sunflowers from now on. All of these were transplanted about 2 weeks later than that first batch. And these were even later than that. Now under this row, I have more sunflowers that are the same age as these. But I also have a lot of zinnias. And I decided to cover them tonight. They're doing really well. But we are scheduled to get down to 44 tonight and tomorrow. It's going to be a high of 50 over the weekend. So I just decided they might appreciate a little extra layer, and I rolled the cover back over them. Today, like I said, it's been hot, and so I had them open. I would never have covered them if it was going to be as hot as it has been, but it's going to be chilling down. Row of tomatoes, they need to be staked. We got to get the stakes in the ground, but I was able to get some plants in between them. Sometimes I planted nasturtiums. There's some basil here. I had a tomato here and I accidentally knocked it with the hose and broke it in half, so I replaced it with some basil and some peppers. So as you can see, there's more basil there. I love to grow basil with tomatoes because it repels the hornworms. So more nasturtium. So hopefully we'll get the stakes in here. 4 more peppers here. I've got bell peppers, and then I'm excited about these. These are jalapenos. So they're supposed to have all of the flavor of jalapenos, but none of the heat. This is another row of annuals. I was really excited to see this. And again, very spotty germination, but you can see in some places I have blue plurum that actually came up. I didn't think it did, so anxious to see how that goes. This is cress that you could actually eat, but I'm letting it go to seed. I hope it gets taller. It's already going to seed. You can see it's starting, but I hope it gets taller so that I can use it in cut flowers. More spotty germination. I don't even know what was supposed to be here. I don't think anything came up, so I will replace that at some point. Bachelor's buttons. We've got some dill. And these are bells of Ireland, which also spotty germination, but I direct seeded them, and we'll see how it goes. I've never grown them before. So another row of tomatoes. I didn't plant anything in between them yet. I'm going to wait until hubby stakes them for me, and then we'll get them planted up. And then this row I just planted the other day. These are all various types of basils. So we have cardinal basil, we have purple ruffles, we have Mrs. Burns's lemon, which is great for culinary, but I'm going to be using it in cut flowers. We have cinnamon basil, more cardinal basil. I had one little lime basil that germinated. I have some Tulsi basil. And then over here, this is what I just put in the ground today. These were in my my cell blocks, and so I needed to get them in the ground. This is wrinkled crinkled cress, again for cut flowers. I've got some Dyer's coreopsis. I've never grown this before. I have no clue on the spacing, and I didn't even look it up. So my rule of thumb is if I don't know, it's at 9 inches. And then we have some Victoria blue salvia and some Mexican marigolds. And some empty space here that might end up being peppers. And this whole row was supposed to be peppers. And then kind of got carried away with the basil. So this might end up being peppers. I do have a whole row of peppers at my garden at home, which I'll have to show you. More garlic. I threw in some marigolds where I had empty spaces. Another row of tomatoes that got mulched tonight. This is a squash or a zucchini, I'm not sure which. I think it's a yellow squash because I think I planted a zucchini in that hill and a zucchini in that hill, and neither of them came up, so I need to replant those. The kale has gone to seed, and I'm leaving the flowers for the bees. My cukes have popped through, so I'm excited about that. These are telephone peas, very spotty germination. I put, I think, 4 seeds around every pole, and as you can see, only those have come up. So I don't know what's going on there. And then here, for lack of any other space, I planted my Dahlia Tubers, and that wasn't enough room. So I came over here and planted more Dahlia Tubers, and some of them are actually popping through. This is a row of carrots and beans that I had to cover because for the first time in a couple of years we have a bunny, and he was nibbling. So those got covered. We also have a garden snake. I have seen him every time I have been working in the garden. Sometimes he's down at this end, sometimes he's under the tarps. Tonight he was way down there, but I see him every time I'm working. He's welcome to stay, but it doesn't mean that I don't get freaked out every time I see him. So let me show you. We have some volunteer sunflowers from last year, and look, that is a dahlia popping through, as is that, which makes me very excited. I wasn't going to plant them, but I did. 2 more here. And I have to say, these Arabian Nights came from Walmart, and they are great. They're coming through. They're popping up even better than the expensive ones that I bought. So fingers crossed. Snapdragons have been in the ground since March. They have not been doing much of anything, but they're looking really good. For a while they were looking iffy and like they didn't really like the cold, but they're coming to now. They're starting to branch. I didn't even have to pinch them. You can see all of these are branching naturally. These are black print snaps. I have some feverfew and some yarrow for cut flowers. This is my row of dwarf tomatoes and determinate. Oh, look at that little, can you see him? Where'd he go? I see his ears. There he is. Do you see? Right there. There's Mr. Bunny. That's the reason. Yep, you can eat the weeds, sweetie, but don't you be eating my lettuce. He's not afraid at all. Look at him. Look at him. Yeah, you're welcome as long as you behave yourself. All right, so as I was saying, Determinate Tomatoes. I have some more peppers down here. I was kind of putting them where I could, trying to keep them in the tomato rows because they're the same family. More kale that has gone to seed, which is okay because right here is the new kale. Now, this bed I should probably cover, being that Bunny was right here. I uncovered it because the peas were looking like they wanted to, they were getting pretty flat by the net. So I uncovered this section. The kale is here. You guys, just behold the beauty that is this lettuce. I have never grown such beautiful lettuce. I was always jealous of the pictures of people growing beautiful lettuce, and now I have achieved it. So this right here, the green and red, is Johnny Salanova. Very expensive seed. I think it was like $6 for 25 seeds, but we're gonna get our money's worth out of this one. And then all of these are varying types. I know what kind they are in my garden journal. I just don't know what kind they are off the top of my head. But they're all looking so good. And what I did differently this year was I started them inside. In prior years, I had